guys, how are you today? Chelsea Kenyon here, and I want to show you guys a really cool retro eye look. Now, for those of us that have puffy lids, hooded lids, you know, the kind of lids like I usually try to keep my eyebrows raised a little bit, but if I don't have my eyebrows raised, I do get the dreaded puffy hooded lid. So that is, that can be kind of a challenge when you're trying to create a wing, because I barely have enough room for that liner, and then I'm going to kind of lose my crease. So if you were looking straight on me with the liner and my eyes are in a relaxed mode, you're just going to see liner and then puffy eyelid. You're not going to see that crease area like you want. So since we don't want to have puffy lids on the top, we are just going to use a little bit of shading to bring that area down a little bit so that it's not so puffy looking after we get our liner on. So what I'm going to use here is LimeLight's number 7. This is one of my favorite go-to colors, especially for those of us with pink skin tones. This is a nice neutral taupe color, so you're not going to get that warm, you know, orangey look on your skin, because if you use too warm of a shadow on pink skin, it can look orangey, and we don't want that. So I'm just taking a little tiny dip, and you do not need a lot of this. You can see already that the pigment is pretty intense. And I am going to shade all of this in because I do not want my eye to appear puffy on the top. However, I don't want it to look like I have a lot of shadow on, so I am going to be blending a lot of this in so that we don't necessarily see a lot of shadow. The object here is not to create a shadow look, it's just to create, you know, because when you put something darker, it makes it recessive to where it takes it in, and when something is light, it brings it out. That's why we want to put a little bit of lightness around our eyes, because it brings out our eye area, but we don't want to bring out puffiness. So on puffy areas, that is where you are going to be shading it so that it doesn't, let me adjust my lighting here a little bit, just so that it doesn't appear puffy. So it's just a simple fix. And after we get our liner on, we can always go back and add more if we need to, if it's still looking too hooded on the top. And I already prepped my foundation and lid with my foundation and powder, so it's ready to go. So I'm not just applying this on bare skin. And y'all know I'm a fan of the fingers. And if you're starting with clean, dry fingers, you don't have to worry about transferring oil onto your face, unless you have really greasy hands, greasy palms. But a freshly washed hand is perfectly fine and is not going to transfer oils onto your face. Okay, so I know, sorry, I'm working with a couple different lighting here. I have my natural lighting coming in from this side over here, and then I've got a filler light over here, so it is okay, there we go. And that's all that is going to be. So fast, so easy. And we can always go back and add more if necessary. Okay, so I'm going to create the wing with Alcone at home. Well, it says Alcone at home, but it's LimeLight's Perfect Liner. And this guy, oh my goodness, it has just got this epic point on it, and you can really create anything with it. So I am going to, now this is, I'm just going to tell you, the struggle is real here. Trying to put a wing liner on in the phone because it's reflecting differently is a bit of a challenge. So I will do my best, but everything's the opposite. So it's not exactly the same as like a mirror. It feels kind of strange. But anyway, so I'm going to start with a very thin, and notice I'm not using the point, you know, directly on. I am keeping it flat against the lid and I'm dragging it, and that is going to preserve the point on the pen a little bit longer if you use the side of it and drag it rather than using the point and drawing it like that. Now with a wing or with a liner, you always want to start out with a really thin line, so that way as you build it up and kind of fill in stuff and whatever, that way it doesn't get overly thick. We don't want to have our eyeliner up on our eyebrow. Okay, so here's a quick way to do the wing. See this angle right here of my bottom lid? You're just going to kind of follow that line going up. And for me, a quick little line. Don't think too hard about it. This is not the time to be overthinking. That's when it gets crazy and mistakes happen. And there we go. So you can see, and I'm telling you guys, this is not easy doing it in the phone. And then as you drag it up, lift it off your face, that will create that nice point that you want. Okay, so now you see it's looking pretty funky, right? What is that? I'm just gonna go do some shopping looking like this. Fantastic. No, we're not leaving it like this. Now is when we are going to kind of fill it in and create that wing. And we are going to start, we don't want to start at the point. We're going to start about halfway down and then connect it to our line. And there we go. There is our wing. So it's actually a pretty easy process. And then if you want to, you can kind of connect it down here just a tad. Now a real retro look, you don't really put a lot under the eye. So whatever is existing there already from your lashes, that gives enough definition. So now I'm going to finish up with this eye. Again, we're going to start with a very thin line. See how thin that is? And because we're going to build it up as we go. And you really want to get it into the lash line. You do not want a gap between where your lashes, you know, where your mascara is and your liner. You know, when you look at somebody, have you ever seen that when you look at somebody's eyes and you can see a little space there? We do not want that. No. Oop. Now this liner pen, once it dries, it does not budge, but you do have a second to kind of, you know, push it back if you need to or whatever. Okay, so now that I have gotten my top line on here, I am going to, actually on this eye, I use the pen going this way and I drag it in. And then on this eye, I use the pen going this way and I drag it out. It just happens to work better that way for me to get a nice crisp point on it. If I try to do it on this eye, it's just the angle of my hand and the pen, because over here it kind of has this. And then if I try to do that over here, it doesn't glide on the same way. So if you need to kind of, you know, flip your hands around and do some circus tricks, feel free. Okay, so over here, I'm going to start like this, and I'm going to draw on that line, and I need to see where, so that, because this eye has a little bit more of a puffiness to it over here, so I'm going to start with this angle here. Okay, and then I'm going to do that, and then kind of step back, make sure that they are as even as possible. Now, let me tell you, eyebrows are not twins, neither are your eyes. Your eyes are not most people don't have the same exact eyes. One might be a little bit more squinty, maybe this eyebrow's higher. You know, everybody has slightly different eyes. For me, this side is a little bit puffier over here, so I kind of have to work around that. So you don't freak out if your eyeliner is not the same, because simply your face is not the same. It's not, you know, even though it looks kind of symmetrical, everybody has kind of just little subtle differences in their face. So don't freak out if your eyeliner does not match perfectly. What matters is if it fits on your face well. So I'm going to go back in here and I am going to connect it all together now. So now that we have our line and it looks fairly, you know, I'm not going to say even, because like I said, eyeliner is never even. So just, you know, ladies, don't worry about that. Don't worry about getting it perfect, because you know what? It's, you know, it's okay. It's okay. Just take a deep breath. Okay, so I am going to attempt to do this on phone. I swear I feel like I'm at the circus when I do this, because I cannot see what I'm doing in this phone. It is so strange. You would think that I could, but I can't. Now this needs to be filled in a little bit here. And there we go. Now we have this wing done. And this guy has a little bit under there. That'll be a good time to pull in the Q-tip and just wipe the bottom. And then you just want to fill this in. Awesome. Okay, now to make it really match, we are going to just pull it into the corner a little bit. And voila. I'm going to sharpen this one just a little bit. And bring that in just a little bit more. And I see we have a little bit of a thing here. Okay, and that's it. Super quick and easy. I know it takes a little bit of time, because when I'm on camera, I'm talking to and explaining to, you know, how exactly to put it on, but if you're doing it in the mirror, seriously, it's so easy. You just do your line here, and then you drag it back and fill it in. Well, first you put your line on the top, then you put your line here, and then you drag it and you fill it back in, because you want this to kind of swoop. And here's the thing, do not attempt to create the swoop when you're drawing on that first original line, okay? Don't try to draw it up and hook. Okay, just draw that straight line, and then you're gonna create the illusion of that hook by swooping it along the top. Does that make sense? Okay, so of course we are going to finish this off with some mascara, and this is LimeLight's Perfect Mascara. It is so amazing, one of my favorite products, and this has fibers in it, lengthening fibers in it, and it's all in one tube. It's super easy to use because you just apply it like regular mascara. And it doesn't flake, it doesn't smudge, it stays on all day. So I am just going to begin putting on this mascara, and I like to really work it into the bottom, the base first, making sure that I'm filling in all those, you know, because we don't want the gap. We do not want that gap. We want it to be seamless from black lashes right into that liner. So we can work on the length in a minute right now. And this is something that you're going to have to be careful of, because you don't want to get mascara on your lid, because it's already, your eye look is pretty much done at this point, so you don't want to have to go back and fix any smudged areas. If you do, it's not the end of the world, because, you know, it's a very simple look, but when you go in and start poking around on this now you're messing with the foundation that you put down and the shadow blending and all that, so it can be kind of a chore to go back and fix it. So just try to be really careful, or if you need to, put something over the lid like a spoon or something to keep the mascara from going anywhere. That is another option. Okay, and I usually do, I am not going to put mascara on the bottom lashes, because I do have kind of long bottom lashes, and with the retro wing, you really want to keep everything kind of on the swoop on the eyelid, on the top, not the bottom. So I got my lashes done over here. I'm going in on this side. Let me get a little bit more here. Work it into the base. And this mascara is buildable. I'm just kind of doing like one really good coat here. I don't even know if you can call this coats because I just kind of work it in to the lash base and then pull it up. Now, if you want to add more length, what you're going to do is you're going to swirl that wand around, and there we go. And then pull it out until you can actually see the little fibers holding on to the outside of the wand here. And then you're just going to go and lightly feather them on. And you can do that as much as you want, and then let it dry and do it again. You can do it as much as you want and really build up your lashes. But that is a tutorial for a different day, but I did want to throw that little tip in there. And don't be afraid to really get it down to the root of the lash, because you have all that black liner on there, so you don't have to worry about, you know, smudging it on your lid because you already have that black liner. So that's it. So simple. So simple. And I love this look. It's really fresh and crisp. And you'll notice that even though I have the hooded eye, it is not puffy. Now, if I hadn't put that contouring and shading on my upper lid, I would definitely have a very, very puffy look right in here, which is not what we want. So that shading helped, you know, bring the puffiness back. And now it just looks like a nice retro eye, and it's very subtle on the lid, not like I have a bunch of eyeshadow on there. So I am going to finish up this look with Cupcake. This is our, I'm sorry, not Cupcake, Cherry Pie. And this is our bright red Enduring Lip Color. Now, Enduring Lip Color is a liquid lipstick. It goes on like a gloss, and then it sets for about 10 to 15 minutes, and from there on out, it will not budge. Our brighter colors last a very long time, pretty much all day. And then our lighter colors last a couple hours, 4 to 6. Some people actually have the lighter colors last all day, so it just kind of depends on your lips, but the brighter color ones definitely have a little bit more staying power. It's a liquid lipstick, not a lip stain, okay? So it's a little bit different. However, these brighter colors, like this Cherry Pie here, it does have a lot of pigment in it, so it might stain your lips. So if you, even when you try to take it off, it might leave a little bit behind that will wear off on its own. The other thing too is that these things smell amazing. Oh yes, I love it. Okay, this one is Cherry Pie, so it smells like cherry pie, and indeed it does. I can even smell the freshly baked crust. Okay, now with red, up to you whether you want to line your lips or not. I am going to skip that step simply because this wand is a very precise wand. So you can pretty much do the trick with this as far as getting a very crisp line around the mouth. And for me, I just think it stays longer if I don't have the lip liner on underneath. Totally up to you. If you want to do the lip liner, that is totally fine. Okay, I'm going to have to move this down just a little bit so I can see here. Woo, look at that. And there is actually just enough on my brush to keep going here. And the key with the liquid lipsticks, does it look weird when I'm talking with just my bottom lip color? The key with these liquid lipsticks is a thin, light layer. You're not gonna cake this on like a gloss, a thin, light layer. Then if you need more, let that set a little bit, like 2 or 3 minutes, and then add another thin, thin layer. You can even powder between layers for extra staying powder. Staying power, not staying powder. And I am going to pick up just a tad bit more because it did run out a little bit there on the tip. Okay, so there we go. That is our retro look. It is so, so easy. I encourage you guys to try this out. You're definitely gonna want to get a very vibrant color for the lip because that is what pairs well with a more neutral eye here, because we don't have a lot of drama going on with the eyes. It's a more simple eye and vibrant lip look. Now, I love red with the retro look, but a hot pink would also be really, really cute. Even a darker burgundy would be good too. And again, this is our enduring lip color. Gotta have this in your purse, ladies, because you can put this on in the morning and this will be on later on tonight if I don't change my look. I actually will probably change my look, but if I didn't, this will pretty much stay on all day. Another thing to note is I did keep my cheeks very, very neutral, and I did, let me grab what I did here. I used our little contour brush and my blush color in number 1, which is this matte mauve color, and it's a deeper color. So I did not want to have a vibrant pink cheek for this look. So I simply drew the line right there with this blush and then just blended it out so that it creates the contour without having too much color, because we really do want to have a very bright eye area. And I used a foundation color, a couple shades lighter when I prepped my eye area, and then I just did the rest of my foundation as usual. So anyways, guys, I hope you like this look. If you're not friends with me on Facebook already, add me as a friend and show me if you guys try this. I can't wait to hear. Drop some comments below, and also below this video, I will write down everything that I used in this look if you would like to order it. Feel free, and I will talk to you guys soon.